These are the new for 2023 roller coasters that you need to know about. Since the pandemic, the amount and quality of new roller coasters has taken a slight decline. Sure, there has been a few exceptions like Velocicoaster, Iron Gwazi, and Pantheon, but by and large, the additions have been slim pickings. In this video, I'm going to discuss a few of the alleged new for 2023 coasters, and I say alleged because if the pandemic taught us one thing, projects don't always finish on time. Anyways, these are the roller coasters that I think will make the most impact in the coaster community. Before we get to this list, do me a favor by clicking on that like button, and if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. First, let's jump to the roller coaster that could go either way, and that's Pipeline, the surf coaster coming to SeaWorld Orlando. Pipeline is an all-new surf coaster concept being designed by B&M. In layman's terms, it's basically an updated stand-up coaster with shock absorbers. The other big feature is that this roller coaster will feature an LSM launch, something that B&M rarely does. Also, instead of having 4 people across in each row, the roller coaster will only have 2, which again is another major change from their typical designs. If Pipeline proves to be a better version than the original stand-up coaster, I expect we will see more roller coasters of this design make it around to other theme parks. If the coasters still suffer from the original issues that we have with stand-up coasters, then Pipeline the surf coaster could remain a one-of-a-kind attraction. Next, let's talk about one of the most anticipated concepts, and that's Circuit Breaker coming to Codaland in Austin, Texas. This will be an all-new tilt coaster from Vekoma Rides. Though not the first ever tilt coaster, this is the first time we'll see this type of coaster make its way to Northern America. The concept is pretty nifty. The train rolls out onto a tilt track, locks in place, and the entire piece of track tilts forward to a 90-degree angle. I'm sure this ride will be a huge hit with the GP and probably become a fan favorite with coaster enthusiasts. The whole tilt concept is a gimmick, but what makes this roller coaster so great is the layout that follows the first drop looks to be exciting. The ride will feature 4 inversions, snappy transitions, and a couple pops of airtime. The reason why I say alleged new for 2023 coasters is most likely because of this one. Their new for 2022 coaster still has yet to be constructed, so it's very possible that Circuit Breaker will face a similar fate and be pushed back to 2024. Or being a new park and all, cancelled altogether, but let's not hope for that outcome. Palindrome coming to Codaland in Austin, Texas. I just mentioned that Codaland had a new for 2022 coaster that hasn't materialized yet. Well, that would be Palindrome. This roller coaster is a shuttle coaster concept by Gerstlauer. Similar to Switchback at ZDT's, this roller coaster will start out with a more traditional lift, though Palindrome will take you vertical. Anyways, the halfway point of the ride will be a vertical spike that will stall out the train and send you through the entire layout backwards. The coaster will use a switchback, which is located near the first drop and station, and will allow the ride to return back into the station. The layout looks very funky, and I think this coaster has lots of potential. I expect this to be one of the sleeper hits of 2023. ArieForce One coming to Fun Spot America in Atlanta, Georgia. This is another 2022 roller coaster that got delayed to 2023. Being constructed by the ever-popular Rocky Mountain Construction, ArieForce One has a ton of potential. The layout looks insane, taking a bunch of their greatest elements found in their previous projects and merging it into one crazy coaster. If you ask me, ArieForce One looks to be one of the best, if not the best new coaster opening in 2023. The ride will feature many moments of airtime, a crazy zero-G stall, and a dive loop, which looks crazy. Now, if I can only work my schedule around so I can check out this coaster next year, so let's hope. Wildcat's Revenge coming to Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania. RMC is at it again with another winner for 2023. Though I don't expect it to be as good as ArieForce One, Wildcat's Revenge shows a lot of promise with great airtime hills, snappy transitions, and a crazy inversion called a step-up underflip. Another great feature is that Wildcat's Revenge will utilize a loading and unloading station, meaning that this roller coaster should be able to handle improved operations. At the very least, a middle-of-the-road RMC is basically better than the majority of coasters, so expect Hersheypark to open yet another winner in their already solid coaster lineup. Zambezi Zinger coming to Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Missouri. Though some might pass this attraction off as yet another typical wooden coaster, Zambezi Zinger has a couple tricks up its sleeve that could make this a sleeper hit of 2023. First, it's the unique spiral lift. This is a weird lift that has only ever been used on a steel coaster. Well, Great Coasters International is cheating a bit by making this a true hybrid roller coaster. There will be sections of track that will be all steel, while other portions of the ride will feature their more traditional wooden track. The layout looks to be very twisted, full of crazy sharp turns that hug the terrain. It looks like one of those coasters that will continue building up speed right to the end of the ride. Tron Coaster, coming to Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom in Orlando, Florida. It's a roller coaster that has been in the making for a few years now. I think the initial release date was for 2020, now we're heading into 2023 with no release date, but since the roller coaster is testing pretty rigorously, we can only assume that it will be ready for a spring opening date, but well, who knows. Will this be the greatest new roller coaster? No, but the theming should be one of the best in the country. As someone who is a fan of the Tron series, I love the whole aesthetic. I'm very excited to check out this roller coaster. Alright, let's talk about a couple overseas projects. The biggest one that currently is on my radar has to be Gotham City Escape, coming to Parque Madrid, located in Madrid, Spain. Basically, this roller coaster looks like a mix of Velocicoaster at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure and Pantheon, which is at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. It's kind of hard breaking this attraction down because we really don't know too much about the ride. Like, we have the theming, but there is no official POV, but yeah, I expect great things. Also, along those same lines, we can't forget about, and I'm sorry I'm gonna butcher this name, it's Toutatis, coming to Asterix, which is in France. Basically another roller coaster that is a mix of Velocicoaster and Pantheon. Toutatis, if that's how you pronounce it right, I'm probably wrong, correct me in the comments, and Gotham City Escape are both multi-launching LSM coasters by Intimate Amusement Rides. Now, as to which one of these two roller coasters will be better, I think Gotham City Escape will have the better theming, but I'm thinking Toutatis, I probably keep pronouncing it wrong every single time, will be the better overall coaster. Let's change gears a little bit and discuss an upcoming family coaster, and that's Big Bear Mountain coming to Dollywood, located in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Normally, I would gloss over a family coaster, but since this is such a large project, I had to bring it up. The ride will feature about 4,000 feet of track, 3 launches, and a max speed of 48 miles per hour. This is no small roller coaster. Watching the POV, it looks like a fun, long roller coaster that the whole family can enjoy. It may not be the uber-intense roller coaster that we were all hoping for, but what we are getting is another home run attraction by Vekoma. I expect this to be a big hit with the Dollywood crowd. Aquaman Power Wave, coming to Six Flags Over Texas. This roller coaster has been constructed and sitting idle for over a couple years now. It was originally labeled as a 2020 project, but then the pandemic pushed it back to 2021. Then the park decided that they actually wanted that turntable station for improved operations and pushed it back the opening date to summer 2022. Well, 2022 is basically over, and the park is now claiming a spring 2023 opening. On paper, this looks like a smaller attraction, almost not worth mentioning. However, what merits this attraction will be its unique water feature. This is a water coaster by Mach Rides. Currently, it will be the only one operating in the United States. If this proves to be a popular attraction, which I think it will be, expect to see more of these models pop up around the states. Primordial, coming to Lagoon in Farmington, Utah. Speaking of attractions that have been delayed or unknown opening date, let's turn our eyes over to Lagoon. The park has been completely hush on what this roller coaster will be, but they did finally announce that Primordial will open in 2023. The park built a giant mountain to house this coaster, so I only assume that the theming will be top-notch. The only downfall with projects like this, where, it's all shrouded in mystery, the hype can have the potential of outdoing the attraction, leaving more people disappointed in the end. Well, I think with the multiple delays, Lagoon really wants to get this attraction done right, so yeah, Primordial could be yet another sleeper hit amongst our 2023 coaster lineup. Okay, the final attraction worth mentioning, and that would have to be Top Thrill Dragster Reboot, or whatever you want to call it. As many of you know, the beloved but flawed Top Thrill Dragster, which is at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, closed for good back in 2021, and has been sitting idle ever since. Well, earlier this year, the park announced that the ride would not operate again in its current form. As to what kind of overhaul this roller coaster will receive is still up in the air, but if there is one thing we know about Cedar Point, they love to go big. With that being said, I don't expect to see Top Thrill open during the 2023 season, but instead serve as a new attraction for the 2024 season. Whatever Top Thrill gets converted into, expect to see me there eagerly awaiting my first ride. Well, that's going to do it for my list of roller coasters coming in 2023 that you have to know about. What roller coaster are you most anticipated for? Let me know down in the comments. Again, if you enjoyed this video, click on the like button, and new to my channel, subscribe so you won't miss out on future projects here from X Screen Thrills.